Happy birthday, Tim. Sorry I couldn't be there to roast you in person, but the timing is a little bit close to the arrival of your latest nephew, Adrian Alexander Benjamin O'Connor. Yes, I know, that's quite a handle. Not unlike the abbreviation for your name, Tim with 2 M's. We actually thought of paying homage to you by doubling all the consonants in his name. But seeing as all database fields are 255 characters by default, it would have been kind of stupid to do that. And it just would have been silly in the first place. Your form of Tim is actually pretty cool. Big T, little I, double M. Everybody say it with me. Timmmm. Like I said, pretty cool. I do have a couple of questions though. Where did this spelling come from? I asked Mom and Dad, and they weren't quite sure, but Mom knew that it was a creation of your own. Did you think if you dropped the Y, that Mom and Dad would stop calling you Timmy? Maybe you want to be Tim. Maybe it's just because you want to let your name hang in the air just a little bit longer than all the other Tims in the world. Or maybe it just gives you a feeling of sexual prowess when someone says your name and puts that at the end. Although that can be kind of awkward and mean in family gatherings, I would think. Back to the topic of your nephew, or more to the point, babies in general, or specifically, actually, when are you having your baby? I know you've been carrying that little guy around for a number of years now, and seeing as the gestation period for a normal human child is 40 weeks, which is actually closer to 10 months than the 9 months we always hear about, that's random dead disease fact number 9, I was just wondering when you're going to pop this guy out. Is it a human child, or is it the product of late night infusions of ESPN? Is this where you're storing all of that sports knowledge? Those of you who know Tim know that Tim likes to play with ball. I'll show you. Hang on a second, right? We've got Tim likes to play with big balls. Black. This one happens to be black and pink. He likes to play with little white balls. He'll play with fuzzy yellow balls. He'll play with orange balls. He'll play with white balls with black dots on them, or white balls with red and blue dots on them. It doesn't care. If there's a game somewhere and someone's using a ball in it, Tim will be there to critique, teach, record, and generally outshine whomever is playing with that ball. Be they an up-and-coming ball player such as Sean Hare or Rod Robertson, free, or maybe a high school basketball team. Tim's going to be around, he's going to record it, he's going to remember every fact of every game he's ever seen, and some of the games that he hasn't seen. If he's playing golf, or maybe just a friendly game of basketball, Tim's in it to win it, and he's going to tell you how he did it at a later date. Let me put this big ball down. This one goes back in the pocket. Got to keep the eggs warm. That's golf tip number 1. Those of you who know me know that music is a huge part of my life, and I actually credit Tim with introducing me to a great number of the bands that I have grown to love and that I've learned a lot from. Bands like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, The Who, Jethro Tull. Tim basically put me on the right path as far as that goes, so I give him a lot of credit for that, where that is concerned. But Tim also listens to some really sorry old stuff, and a lot of the stuff that I listen to he would probably find a little raucous and quite disturbing at times. Like they say, Tim, if it's too loud, you're too old, and this is your 50th birthday. I think I've ribbed you enough. Let me say some nice things about you. I've always looked up to you as a brother, and not just because you're taller than I am. When you broke your foot and had to wear that stupid boot over the cast, and endure me calling you Booty Man, the original Ass Man, I still thought you were cool. When I was a little kid, you took me over to your apartment to see Kiss live on HBO, which at the time I thought was the coolest thing in the world. You used to pull Doug off of me and twist him up into a pretzel, which I always thought was a riot, seeing as I was the one who was generally being twisted into form. You've got a great wife who's been a part of my life almost as long as I can remember, ever since you brought her home to meet the family. And I actually remember the night that that happened. I was watching Buck Rogers, and you brought her in and introduced her, and I was like, oh, she seems pretty cool. And you know what? I was right. She is pretty cool. That she would go to such great lengths to make you feel this uncomfortable in front of your friends and your family just shows how much she cares about you. You both have raised two incredible kids, both in size and and wisdom beyond their young years, and that's an inspiration to me. To know that I can go out and play as much golf as I want and still have two great kids gives me hope. Happy 50th birthday, Tim. I love you, bro.